First of all, about me. My name is Justice Gagara, right? I'm a self-development advocate and entrepreneur, and I'm the author of a book, Becoming a Guide to Self-Development. This is a copy of the book here. You can also look at it. This is a copy of the book. If you want to have a free copy of this book, you can just go online and just type Becoming a Guide to Self-Development by Justice Gagara. You would see a link that you can use to download it from Seller. You could just type that and then you see it. And also, I'm the founder of Kibatech, and I empower individuals and businesses through innovative tech solutions. And I do have podcasts, and we do software trainings and all. And then we do speaking engagements, and all what we are doing basically is focused on mindset, business education, and lifelong learning, impacting thousands of people across Africa very soon, but majorly Nigeria now. Now, I want to ask a question, right? So we have 9-to-5 jobs and we have entrepreneurship. Let me just ask this question. Amongst you here, who is actually having, if you have a job right now that you're doing, can you just maybe signify with an emoji? If you have a job you're doing, can you just signify with an emoji? Maybe somebody has employed you. Let me just use that word. Somebody has employed you. Can you signify with an emoji? All right, nobody here. So if you are here and then you have a mindset of wanting to move into entrepreneurship and all, or okay, if you are here and you would love to work for somebody someday, to have a 9-to-5 job and all that, of course, maybe many people here must have been graduates or maybe in school. So if you are here, can you just maybe give an emoji? Okay, great. You're having Salem. Yeah, okay, nice. If you are here and you actually love to be an entrepreneur, can you give an emoji also? Okay, all right. One person wants to be both. All right, you can actually be both. All right, that's nice. Thank you. So I was presenting in a particular place. I was teaching them there was a convention I was invited to teach. So while I was teaching, I actually asked the question. Sorry, if you can share this with your friends so they join also. So I asked the question basically, and the question I asked was between 9-to-5 jobs and between entrepreneurship, which is better? And then I just invited two people. Somebody was actually supporting the motion of 9-to-5. Somebody was actually bringing the one of entrepreneurship. And we had two people who made their cases. Their cases were very, very nice, right? They made solid cases though. Although we are going to dive into that proper, and you are going to understand what you're supposed to do in terms of choosing where to go to after graduation, right? All right. Yeah, Christiana, can you please turn off your camera? You see your camera is on. Can you just turn it off if you can? All right, thank you very much. All right, so let's move on. Now, we're going to be having some key points here, right? Now, the number one key point is this, right? Neither having a 9-to-5 job nor being an entrepreneur will guarantee you having your financial freedom, right? Now, what truly matters is your ability to stand out and create values in whichever path you choose. Now, this seminar will guide you on how to monetize your skills, whether you are pursuing a corporate career or you are being an entrepreneur, right? Now, why does this matter? Now, to succeed, whether in the workplace or as a business owner, you must understand how to differentiate yourself and position your skills strategically for income and impact. Now, I can say that I'm seeing this out of experience actually, because I've been both. I've been an entrepreneur. Okay, I'm an entrepreneur, and then I worked for somebody also. Yeah. Upon graduation, when I graduated, I was going to make it. I didn't suffer to look for a job. I already had some skills that I built. So I had like some resumes, and with God's mercies, I was able to secure a job though. Yeah. That was already paying me around 100K or so. Although I later resigned. Yeah. But then, so however it is though, I think to some extent I can actually give a comparative analysis about this personally. All right, so now let's move on. Now, the thing there is this. The major question that we are supposed to ask ourselves is, after school, right? What next? Now, if you are still in school and you're listening to this right now, let me just say thumbs up. If you are still in school and you're listening to this, thumbs up. Please, if you can, share this with your friends, right? If you can, just share this with your friends. Trust me, what I'm about to share is going to impact a lot of people. Yeah. So if after school, what next? So some of you here are still in school, some of you have left school. Now, the knowledge I'm about to share, if you are still in school, right, you still have a lot of time for you to maybe adjust and become better at it. If you graduated and you don't even know what I'm about to say now, then I think you need to actually maybe, should I say, wake up also. All right. So now this is it. After school, what next? What is next for you? Number one thing that you have to do is that you have to make a choice, right? You have to choose whether or not you are following necessities or you are following opportunities. Now, what could this be? I'm going to break it down shortly. Now, when I'm talking about necessity, right? The question is this, or the statement that will be going through your mind is this: I just need to survive. So if you are in survival mode, right, then whatever you'll be doing, either as an entrepreneur or looking for a job, is going to be you acting based on necessities, because that particular thing you're looking for is is a necessity. If you don't have that thing, if you don't have that money, right, you are going to, I don't know, if I say die, I don't know, or you are going to shall not be happy. So you need that, so it's a necessity. Now, you could also be doing it out of opportunity, which is I see potential and I'm prepared to build on it. So you can try to do it out of necessity or out of opportunity. But this is it actually. Speaking of building it out of necessity or opportunity, there's a dilemma there. Now, by design, right, developed countries offer room for you to actually choose opportunities more. That is, you just saw a change that you want to do, either in a company or as an entrepreneur, right? But then in developing countries like Nigeria, right, most of us act out of necessities. You get? Now, most of us act out of necessities. Now, the funny part there is that we acting out of necessity is not even just in terms of, selecting the job or entrepreneur. It has started long before now, but we just didn't take note of it. It started when you were in school, when you were choosing the course of study for some of you. Some of you didn't want to become doctors, right? But probably your parents made you to go to medical school. Why is it so? Because, out of everything, you have a good paying job, right? Some of you wanted to become an engineer because of the pay. Basically, now that is already a necessity something, because you were not seeing an opportunity that you wanted to fix. There's some people that probably have their own story. Maybe the story there is that they have observed that, that in the health sector, this and that is that you want to be the first person to cure cancer. These are opportunities, right? It gives you a drive. But some, again, basically, they just go out of necessity, right? So most of us, in fact, without necessities, I don't think many people here will go to school. But because of the fact that we already know that if you don't go to school, you have a bad life. That's like the mentality that we have already. So that's why you have to go to school, basically, right? So it's one among them. Now, this is it now. We may not actually control where we land because we are in Nigeria, obviously. Everybody that's in this call, if I believe, is a Nigerian, right? So we don't have the choice. It's not up to us, it's not up to me, it's not up to you to decide whether or not we are in a place which favors opportunity over necessity or which favors necessity out of opportunity. We are in Nigeria, not in USA. We have necessity, but this is it. This is the real task. The real task here is that we can shift ourselves from survival mode to strategies. Right now, we can develop ourselves so that we can choose opportunity, even though the conditions are tough and all. So you can find yourself in Nigeria and still end up choosing opportunity over necessity. This is not general for everybody. Some people in Nigeria don't even know what suffering is. Take note of that. So because you are suffering, somebody is still building duplex, somebody is changing his phone from iPhone 11 to iPhone 16. Somebody has probably bought iPhone 21. Not possible though, but maybe. All right. So that's that. Now you need to develop yourself so that you can choose opportunity even in tough conditions, right? So you don't have to let the choice to just be there like that. You can try to choose it yourself. You can choose opportunities yourself. Some of you have actually attempted to choose opportunities, but then when you don't choose it properly, right, reality of life is going to come. And when reality of life comes, you are going to switch into necessity. So you see many people doing what they don't like, basically, because they don't actually have a choice. Anyway, let's move on. Our time is going. All right. Now, next again is in terms of following opportunity, right? No necessity, right? We now have a myth that we need to actually work on. That is the myth of following our passion, right? You don't want to actually be a medical doctor. You want to be an engineer. You don't even care about all of these ones, basically. You want to become a philanthropist, to be doing this, to be doing that, basically. These are all passions, right? So this is what I'm passionate for. Maybe you want to move into music proper. Maybe you want to be a footballer, right? These are all passions. Now, the question is this: should you follow your passion You get, it's a nice thing basically, right? You've heard it a lot. Follow your passion, follow your passion. As a matter of fact, this word passion, I read in a book, it started becoming greatly used in a particular year like that. When somebody used it, I think that was when follow your passion became, more prominent. And we've been told to follow our passion, basically. Do what you're passionate about. In fact, in love, follow your passion and all that, you're passionate. If you like the lady that is fair, follow her with all of your heart. Just use that passion and follow her. If she becomes black, go find another fair person and follow your passion. I know that's do. So the idea sounds great, right? Of following your passion. But then let's question it for a moment, right? Now there's a story I read from a book about a monk, right? Somebody was an accountant and then he wanted to move into ministry, right? Because he felt that's where he would find this fulfillment. And then he moved into that basically and followed his passion and became a monk. But then, sorry, not years later as I wrote here, but then I guess just a while later, I don't think it was even up to a year, he still was not finding that happiness. Right? Because the thing there is that passion does not actually guarantee happiness. You get, passion does not actually guarantee happiness. Now, let me give you some instances. I've given this instance before. Now, you see, I love pounded yam. If you ask me to tell you what my favorite food is, my first answer is going to be pounded yam. Can somebody type in his or her favorite food here? I'm going to ask a question after that to the person, though, but it's not going to be a hard question, trust me. Somebody should just type down their favorite food. If you can. Anybody, just type your favorite food. Which food do you like eating the most? Like you ask your favorite. Who can boldly type his or hers? I'll ask you a question though. Okay, somebody said yam and sauce. Somebody said no favorite. Okay, so now let's go to the person that chose yam and sauce. Mr. Edidion, you chose yam and sauce, right? Now the question is this. Why did you choose yam and sauce? Why is yam and sauce your favorite? Can you just give me the answer if you can?
It's because of the crayfish sauce, particularly. The flavor comes from palm oil that is used to prepare the crayfish sauce.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So now, if you now find a sauce that is better than that, will your favorite still be that sauce?
Maybe, yeah, probably. As far as the flavor is better.
Yeah. All right. Somebody said rice and stew. Can you tell me why it's rice and stew? When was the moment that you realized it was yam and stew, rice and stew? Yeah. Can you unmute your mic and answer that if you can? The person that said rice and stew. Okay, I guess the person is not close to unmute his mic or her mic. All right, let me just move on. We don't have time. So thanks very much, Edidion, for that answer, and thanks for dropping your story as rice and stew. Now, mine is actually pounded yam, right? If you ask me first, what's your favorite food? I'll tell you pounded yam. And my reason is actually quite funny. At least Edidion's own is that he loves the flavor and all, right? My reason for choosing what I chose is very, very much funny. My reason is just simple. I guess if I can recall, the moment I chose that as my food, I was actually eating. Then my mom made, I think my mom made pounded yam also, and then I said that this pounded yam is my favorite food, basically. Then she now smiled, and that was it. Her smile just did something in my head, and then wow, yeah. Mom's approval, so it just made that to be my favorite food. It was a very, very funny reason, Sha. And I'm a football fan. Yeah, I support Chelsea. Some of you that know me, I support Chelsea. And the reason why I support Chelsea may actually surprise you. There are different reasons, but I think one of the reasons why I support Chelsea is because of the fact that when I was in school, both primary and secondary, I was in Blue House. Can you imagine me deciding a happiness of watching football because I was in Blue House? Can you imagine? So people that were now in Red House, they now decided to choose Man U. Right now, as the season is going, they are going to be unfortunate, right? So it's funny though, but basically that is why I actually chose that. So can you see? Now I'm trying to actually say something, right? And where I'm actually leading to there is that the thing you've chosen basically as a choice, right? There may be flaws in making that particular choice. So that thing that you claim to be passionate about, right? There may be flaws when you're choosing that, right? So that thing you may not even necessarily be what you're necessarily passionate about, but circumstances that were in play at that particular time made you choose that particular thing as your thing, as the thing that you're passionate about. So you see, that in itself is already a flaw. You understand? Now, the hard truth is this: you can die broke doing what you love. If only what you love is what you are doing, you can die broke doing it. Right? Maybe you repair the remote one day and the people were like, wow, that's nice. You did well. You become a computer engineer. And you don't even, and then just the drive that you are moving with. Now, the thing there is that love is often shaped by based on external validations and circumstances, just like I said. Now, you need to ask yourself, whenever you are in a field, the field that you studied, wherever you are pursuing, the entrepreneurial stuff that you are moving, you need to ask yourself some particular questions. Why do you love what you love, right? Is it based on emotion? Is it identity? Is it a conditioning? Why do you actually love that thing? You can ask yourself that question basically later on, right? Now, let's move on. All right. Now, I'm going to tell us something basically, and this is a particular formula that you could use to decide in choosing what to do. Because, like I said, some of you here, you people may be confused. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Right? Let me just tell you, like when I was in school, though, you know, it was actually, we used to hear people say, life after school is this, life after school is this. We were prepared, though, but then it's as if we were not even prepared enough. When we left, you know, life after school still shocked us. We were still shocked, you know, with how life after school went and all. Well, that's there, Sha. The thing there is that, however it is, you need to actually decide what you want to do. Now, there's a particular Japanese principle that you can actually use to decide what you love, which is the ikigai, right? If you're following me up to this point, can you give a thumbs up? Okay, all right, that's great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, so now ikigai is a Japanese concept that inspires individuals to discover what truly matters to them and to live a life filled with purpose and joy. That's what ikigai means, right? So it's a Japanese concept that inspires individuals to discover what truly matters to them and to live a life filled with purpose and joy. Now, the term ikigai is actually it's a combination of two words, which is iki. Iki means to live, and then we have gai, which means reason. So together you have the reason to live, which is ikigai. Right now, ikigai is very, very much important. Now, it's possible for you to do what you love. That's what I'm trying to say in essence, right? And doing what you love is very, very important. Trust me. All right. Now, moving on. How do you discover your ikigai? Now, there are 4 key areas that you can actually use to discover your ikigai. You know, all of us here. Sorry, let me just, I'll not ask you a question about it further. But if you remember your Venn diagram in school, can you just wave your hands? If you remember what is called Venn diagram. Okay, great. If you can see my cursor, can you wave your hands? If you can see my cursor, can you wave your hands? The cursor that is on the screen. Great. Okay, I see. Okay, thank you very much. Great. Now this is a Venn diagram, right? Now we're having intersections here. Now this is it. Ikigai is a combination of 4 areas, which is passion. Now passion means what you love, right? Mission means what the world needs. Vocation means what you are good at, and profession means what you can get paid for, right? Now we have passion, which is what you love, mission, which is what the world needs, vocation, which is what you are good at, and then profession, which is what you can get paid for. That forms your ikigai, right? Now this is it. If you are doing what you love alone, but the world does not need it, and you are not good at it, and you can't get paid for it, you are not going to live a fulfilled life because you already do what you love. If you are doing what you can get paid for, right? But you are not doing what you are good at, and you are not doing what the world needs, you are not doing what you love and all that, it can also still be flawed. The best thing for you to do basically is that you can find an intersection whereby all of them meet. I will not take time to dive into this because of time. When you can find that intersection, that forms your ikigai. Now you all have your ikigai somewhere, right? Not just doing what you're passionate about. Make sure that what you're doing, you're also passionate about it. And then also, okay, make sure you're passionate about it. Make sure that the world needs it. Make sure that you're also good at it, and make sure you can get paid. At times, you may even live your life and finish your life entirely without finding your ikigai. For some people, though, it may be okay. Some people, though, it may be disastrous, right? Because at least it's better for me to do what I can get paid for if I don't like it. But if you end up living a life that you yourself don't actually have that particular fulfillment. So it's very much possible for you to find this intersection. But at least if you can find them, do 3 now. Do what you love, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. However it is, make sure that this pay is also part of it. But if you can get all of them, if you can read this thing very, very well, right? Just after this, you can go online and just type ikigai. You see this diagram. Just type ikigai diagram. Also, you see it and then have it and then study it. Study diagram. You're going to understand it very well. I will not go deeper into it because of time. Now we are moving on. All right. Now, sorry, so far so good. If you understand the concept of the Ikigai, can you just give a emoji so that I know if you are following? If you understand the concept of the Ikigai, can you give maybe a thumbs up also? Anybody? If you understand the Ikigai concept I just explained, okay, we have one person. Okay, some people, a couple of people. All right. Okay. Yeah. Somebody said there's a book called Ikigai. Yes, I have read the book. So I won't have it in my shelf. There's a book called Ikigai, literally just Ikigai. And the book, trust me, you need to read that book. I don't even know why I'm not recommending books. I love recommending books, but you need to read. There's a book called Ikigai. The book is really going to help you. And then in the book, it actually explains because see the Japanese people, they live longer than anybody on earth. Check them, and then there's a reason why it was explained in that book also. Doing what you love also can actually help too. Well, we're not diving deep into that too. But that's that about the Ikigai. There's a book called Ikigai. If you need it, you can come to my DM. I send you a soft copy. All right. Now, on a journey to discovering your Ikigai, self-development is key to maximizing your potential. Now, having skills alone isn't enough, right? So you may have skills in some things. Those skills are not enough to take you further, whether you want to move in your career or you want to actually, have a business of your own. Having just those skills are not actually enough. Now, there are things that you actually need. We're having mastering your skills, right? Now, in mastering your skills, it means focusing on that aligns with your Ikigai. So you have many skills, right? But in that particular skill that you feel aligns more with your Ikigai, mastering it is going to help you a whole lot. If you have your questions, you can keep them. In the next 10 minutes or so, I'll start taking in questions. I don't want this to be too long, if not people will get tired. So in mastering your skills, right, you can focus on those that align with your Ikigai. It's very, very important. Now, there's a book that I may recommend for this. It was written by Robert Greene. The book is called Mastery. If you can read that book, the book is a bit big, maybe 400 pages or so. Well, yeah, it's a bit big. But then trust me, if you can read that book, you are going to read that book. If you want to learn how to master your skills, the number one book I would recommend is reading Mastery by Robert Greene. It's very, very important, right? That one is there basically. And then also, you have, for you to become good at your Ikigai, you can master your skills and then you can also build capacity. You get, the truth of the matter there is that not all skills, right, will generate income for you. That's what matter. Not all skills will generate income for you. Not all skills will generate income for you. Okay. All right. Somebody is saying okay, I will share the Ikigai soft copy. Somebody's already asking for it. After the meeting, I'll share the soft copy. All right. So this is it. Not all skills will generate income, right? So you have to choose wisely. But then you are going to surely get your income from your skills. I have lots of skills. Trust me. I can list out 10 skills that I have probably or more self. But not all of them. I don't use all of them to actually generate income because I have to end up finding out my Ikigai. Right? And whether I found it or not, or whether I'm seeing on the line, it is from the skills that I already have that I'm going to actually get that. So you need to figure out that particular skill that you have. That skill that aligns more with your Ikigai, you build more on it and then you master it. That's when you're going to harness the full potential. And this is going to help you both in your corporate life or as an entrepreneur, right? So it's going to help you both ways. Just take it like that. Now, even the right skills, right? Okay, I said, even with the right skills, success depends on two factors, which is self-development and your business sense. Self-development and your business sense. So whether you have the right skills or not, right? What will end up making you see, self-development, right? And business sense, these two things, hold on to them very, very well. We're talking about self-development, right? You're talking about staying relevant and improving constantly. In summary, in fact, the book I wrote, Becoming a Guide to Self-Development, is hammering on self-development. If you want a soft copy of this book, just go online, just type Becoming a Guide to Self-Development by Justice Gagara. You have a free e-copy of it there, right? Or you can come to my DM, I'll send it to you. It's a simple book, but trust me, people's testimonies from this book has been massive. Yeah, I'm not bragging though, but people's testimony from this small book has been massive. Yeah. So basically, right? And it's on self-development. I think I'm writing one that has to do more on businesses. You can also have a copy soon, although that may not be free. So this is it. Self-development will help you to stay relevant, right? And then it has to do with you improving on yourself constantly. And then you also have business sense. You have to learn to market and monetize that your skill effectively, right? Some of you, I'm feeling like I have a friend who was saying that she's not a business person also. All right, thanks very much, Ogumola. Somebody's already testifying here that he has read the book and it's amazing. Thank you. So I have a friend here, basically. I have a friend who used to say she's not a business person and all. I made her to change that mindset though, because we don't actually know what business means. If you don't have business sense, you are not going to succeed in this life. I don't think there's a two-way. Maybe there's a third option though. I don't know. But anyway, let's move on though. So we're started talking about self-development first of all, right? We're already moving on though, and one of the major things I want you to take note of, I'm just giving some key points, right? Key points. I may explain more about that in maybe some other sessions. If you want to learn more about that, you can also come to my DM also. I will be willing to share as much as I can. Yeah. So now when we're talking about self-development, right? You're talking about goal setting also. Now you cannot actually do away with goal setting when talking about self-development. Self-development and goal setting, let me just say, they go hand in hand basically, because if you can set your goals very, very well, right, it actually help you in your self-development too, right? Now I'm just going to talk briefly about this because, like I said, I want to start picking questions from in the next 4 minutes or so. I'll start picking questions so that we move on, right? But I believe I'm already hammering on some stuff already, and if you can take note of the things I'm already hammering, trust me, it's going to really help you greatly, right? It's going to help you greatly. If you're enjoying the session so far, can you just give me a thumbs up? Okay, a couple of people enjoying the session. Thank you very much. All right. So now, why people fail in goal settings? First of all, we're having vague goals, right? We're having lack of clear plan, we're having misaligned goals, and then we're having the fear of failure. Now, these are some of the reasons why you may fail in your goal settings. You need to master the art of goal settings if you want to actually move more in your self-development journey. And why would you fail in your goal setting? Here we have vague goals, lack of clear plan, misaligned goals, and then we have fear of failure. I'm not going to talk more on it. I would move more. Although I want to talk about one more thing, is another one which is called the fear of success. If you want to actually learn more about that, you can come to my DM also. All right. Now, common goal pitfalls that you may have to avoid basically is, at times we set too many goals. At times you set too many goals, and that affects basically. When you want to move much in your self-development journey, right? You have the time or you don't have the time, however it is. You can take it one at a time. It's going to help you greatly, right? Now, you can also fail to track your progress. If you fail to track your progress, you also have a problem with that. And then you can be too rigid with your goals, not willing to be flexible. And then you can also compare yourself with others. These are all some things that may actually affect. I'm not going to talk more about this other part. Let me just move on. All right. We don't have much time. Yeah, I'm trying to, balance some things here. And I have a time I'm working with. Yeah, I have a time I'm working with. I don't want us to exceed the time. Maybe we may have another meeting that will talk more about self-development too. Yeah, we may have. I may fix another meeting and talk more about self-development. Right now, I want to talk about business sense. Let me just know whether or not I have the audience among the people that are online. If you know you are here and then you would love to move more in business, can you just maybe give a thumbs up also? All right, great. We are having a couple of one person. Who else again? Okay, another person. Okay, great. Some people here want to move on in business. First of all, there's something called the financial quadrant. 4 ways that you can actually make money in this world is you can either become employed, somebody is paying you, or you become self-employed, or you become a business owner, or you become a business owner, or you become an investor. What you want to do is you want to either be a business owner or an investor. If you're among the employed or the self-employed, basically, then trust me, you are, I don't know, Sha, but you achieving financial freedom may be very, very difficult, if not very difficult as a whole, right? When we're talking about financial freedom, I'm not talking much about it today, though. Let me just leave it there because of time. All right. So now we're talking about business sense, right? You need to actually have your business sense, and then you need to have the right strategy and tactics when you are deciding your business. But then there's something I want to talk about right now. I want to talk about understanding market, right? I want to talk about understanding market, and this will be the last thing I'll talk about today. So you are moving on, and then you don't know where you want to settle. You're also looking for a ikigai. You're finding different things, right? And you have a product, or you have something that you're moving towards. You need to actually identify your market. If you can identify your market, it's going to help you greatly. Many people fail because they are unable to actually identify their markets. Now we're having 3 markets, basically, 3 core markets, basically, and they include relationship, health, and wealth. If you want to be an entrepreneur, listen to this, right? Wherever you are, basically, whatever you are doing falls under these three things: health, wealth, and relationship. Whatever you're doing falls under health, wealth, or relationship, basically. Take note of this. Whatever you do falls under health, wealth, and relationship, right? Now, we are talking about, let me just give an instance of what I mean, right? So, let's say I used to use this instance a lot because the book that I learned these things from, this was also the instance I think they used, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so let's give an instance of somebody that's actually using a shaving stick. So I'll ask the question, and can you just type in your answer briefly? We're talking about shaving stick. Where do you think shaving stick falls? Does shaving stick fall under the health, the wealth, or the relationship? Somebody should just type in the answer. Because I said whenever you're selling anything, it falls under this stuff. Okay, somebody say health. If you agree that it falls under health, okay, yeah, I already have health, so no need to give anything. All right, thank you very much for your response. All right, but this is it now. It's actually true that it falls under health. Now we can have product that falls under more than one. I don't want to practically let you know what this means, right? So when I'm moving as an entrepreneur, first of all, you need to understand what you want and what you want to actually achieve. Understanding that thing is your number one key to success. Understanding what you want to achieve is your number one key to success. Now, we are all saying it falls under health, it falls under health, it falls under health, right? But let me give an instance now. Let's say I am running an advert for this same shaving stick. Let's say I'm running an advert for Gillette. And then we now show somebody shaving his beard. After the person finished shaving his beard, the person now went out and the lady now fell in love with him. They now went on a date. Where does it now fall under? Do you get the instance? So let's now assume somebody went after the person finished shaving. Both what and what? They say both. Both what and what? Somebody say wealth. Okay. So somebody say both. The person that said both specify both what and what. Somebody say health and relationship. Somebody say wealth. Right? Now you can see that having these particular different answers is already a show of a sign that you can have a particular product falling under different things. So you yourself now, if you don't understand your market, you can see that you can have a problem, right? All of these things about the market structure properly, I may fix a class for it or a seminar for it. The one about choosing dwelling more on building self-development, so I may also do. And I may also do another, and I'll talk about finance though. But this is just a little bit of a touch. The aim of what I wanted to do here is, and I think I've achieved it to a great extent, is to actually, help people, especially those that are trying to find their bearing after school. Life is actually difficult after school. Some people think it is difficult, but life doesn't have to be difficult after school. If you understand what you are doing, life after school does not have to be difficult, right? With the proper planning, life after school is not difficult. It may still prove to be hard to do, but then you have a direction that you are going to. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I wanted to do. And I think I've achieved that in the early session of this, right? So if you are confused, don't be confused, basically. You need to understand these particular principles. When you understand them, you make them to be the map that will actually be leading you as you move on, right? I didn't have enough time to, to dwell more and maybe talk deeper into that and all that, but I just felt the need to share. As a matter of fact, let me even tell you what pushed me, because I procrastinated this thing very, very well because I had been occupied with some things. What pushed me to even hold this was two things. First of all, I watched a video, and in the video, basically, I just saw the lady acting foolish in the answer that she gave, though. And it just made me to, think, people really need lots of things, right? Because the school system is not really helping us to educate us at times on some things that we really, really need. You get, and then they leave us in some states in which we leave school confused. You get what I'm saying? And then you can actually see somebody. I'll see if I can share this slide. And then you can also see somebody, basically, after school. If you need this slide, you can come to my DM. You could see somebody also after school, after graduating from school. The person is confused, but the person graduated with a good grade, right? And in fact, that confusion starts from looking for PPA. Looking for a place to serve as a corper may even prove to be difficult. People will reject you. You're going there to literally work, and they may pay you nothing. You see, they will reject you. Why? Because they don't have vacancy. Don't think of what will now happen after you enter into the labor market. So at times, having first class is important, but it's not enough. You understand? And at times, there are different things that you need to actually note. And you can note those things and take note of them. You go higher with your good grades. And adding these particular things also, you are going to become unstoppable. All right, thank you very much. I don't take much of our time again. If you have a question, can you just wave? That's if you have a question. I'll just entertain maybe 2 or 3 questions. That's if there are any question. All right. I guess there's no question. Can somebody just unmute? Okay. I have one person with a question. All right. 2 questions. Salem and Taiwo, right? I think you are the little with questions. All right. Let me take both of them. Salem, you go first, then Taiwo second. I think these are the 2 questions I'll be taking. All right, Salem, you go. Is Salem okay? If you can type your question, also type it. If you can type your question, type it. While Salem is still preparing, maybe Salem wants to type is his or her now question. Taiwo, can you ask your question, please?
Okay, good afternoon and good evening. Thanks for this opportunity. Thanks for holding this event. I really appreciate that. So straight to my question. So you were talking about achieving financial freedom, and you said one of the best route to achieve financial freedom is having a business or being an investor. So basically, this is what I want to ask. After school, like I think is there a straight path? Can you just have a business straight and become an investor? This the sense I actually think will carry is that you work for a while then before you grow into this. Or can you just explain the process to that? Like, does it take a process to get that, or you can just become this thing immediately after school? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for that question. All right, so this is it. You can become very, very rich before you even finish school. While you ask, before you even go to school, self, at 10, you can. There's this book, right? You ask a question of the path to take. Truth be told, there's no particular path to take, right? Everybody has their own path. You see, everybody has their own destiny, right? And God has his own will also for us. And we walk towards what we want also. And the path, trust me, there's no particular path. There's just a particular formula that you don't violate. There are formulas that you don't violate, that if you violate them 9.9 out of 10 times, then you're not going to succeed in that. I think so. But then there's no particular path. There's this book called The Alchemist, right? There's this book called The Alchemist by Paulo somebody. Yeah. The Alchemist is a storybook, right? Okay. Yeah, I can see the equation here of Salem. Well, let me finish answering this first one. All right. So The Alchemist, right? When you read that book, you are going to understand something. So the boy had a dream. It's like a boy or a man now, I don't know. He used to have a dream basically of him, becoming like, going to a place and then getting something, and then he had somebody, the person translated it to him, and then he had the path to follow though. But then the path was rough. His path was very, very rough. He ended up reaching there though. I'm going to advise you to read the book, The Alchemist. Now, the reason why I brought that book up is that you see, there's no particular route to take. You see, all this ones of after school first, you go and work for somebody. It works, but it's not for everybody. You know why? From the time that you were born, the things that were guiding you is not anything that was guiding somebody else. I don't know whether it was Bill Gates or was it Elon Musk? One of them, basically. From when I think Bill Gates, if I'm not mistaken, when he was going to his school, right? His school was the only school at that particular point. His school was the only school that had a computer, if I'm not mistaken. Bill Gates. So you see, the school he went to already had the computer. So, and the look at things he did computer related. Can you imagine? So his path is not going to be the same with someone else. There's this lady, her name is Barbara Cochran, something like that. She's a member of Shark Tank. Now, Barbara said that she did 20 something. She mentioned, I can't remember the exact number. She did 20 something number of jobs, right? She worked for people like 20 something different works and all that before she ended up building her company. Do you understand? She did 20 something before she ended up building her company. Now you could have some people that are already rich without working for anybody at all. You understand? There are different things that actually happen. Different things happen basically. But then the thing there is that we don't have the same path. We don't move the same path. Somebody may just be here sitting down. His father will give him a company, and then he'll be able to do well with it, and then excel. Somebody again may have to work his way to the top. Somebody may have to work for some people. Somebody may have to start his own business small and then grow it bigger. You get? So if you're asking for a particular way, there's no particular road to tell you have to work for 50 people first, or you have to work for somebody for 10 years first before you go. And no, that's not it. But then that can actually also pay off. You get? At times you may also need to work for some people too, but it's not a yardstick that yes, you must go ahead to work for some people. It depends on how life arranges for you. You get? What you do personally, right? What I'm saying now, if you don't believe in God, you just forget about whatever I'm saying, because you may not even see sense in it. But if you believe in God, you understand what I'm saying. What you do, right, as you are going, right, whatever you do in your life, there's a particular path that is following, right, and the road is not smooth. The road is like this. So you start your career first of all without knowing what you are doing, right? You see, me personally, I've actually benefited on some things, and I didn't even know what I was doing. Let me just use that word. Like, an instance now, I'm doing a podcast now, right? I was working for somebody, sometimes some years back, 2 years or 3 years back, and the person was paying me 30K a month. How did I get that job? It should surprise you. I just decided to say, okay, let me be doing podcast. And I started doing podcast. I just did one video. And then my sister told me that somebody needed somebody to be doing a video editing job for the person. When I reached out to that person, it now turns out that that person actually wanted me to do that video that I had already done just like the week back or so. And I had that video to show him. And the man was not impressed. Like, yeah, something like that. So you see, if I had not done that, probably I won't have what to show. Now, how would I actually know that this thing that I'm doing will lead to that? I don't know. There are many skills that I've had basically that they're just like puzzle. That somewhere after I have learned them and after I was diligent in learning them, somewhere they actually paid off. The same thing with relationships. You don't even know how it's going to be. You don't know how it's going to end for you. All what you do is you have a particular goal that you want to get there, but you don't know the route. Then why you don't know the route? Things that you are doing, the people you are working for and all, you do them diligently, because that is actually the place that you're going to actually get to where you're going to, but you don't know how. So I hope I actually, maybe convinced you, not confuse you, Taiwo. All right, thank you very much. If you need more clarity, you can come to my DM. All right, so there's a question in my DM here. It says someone actually said that it's not really good to have the wealth mindset while young. Please throw more light on this. All right, thank you very much for this question. Now, there's something in this book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Right? Yeah, you can read the book. I would advise you to read the book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I spoke about it small too in my book. Right? Now, there's something called financial blueprint, right? There's something called financial blueprint. Now, financial blueprints are very, very important. I'm not talking much on this. I say I will talk much on finance, but anyway, I have to explain this. Now, you see, financial blueprints are just very, very much simple. These are things that shape our lives. From the time that you were little, you've heard things, just like how somebody said this now, that's not good for you to build wealth when you're young. In fact, some people believe that having too much money is a sin. Now, some people probably grew up in households whereby, they were told that rich people are bad people. You were told that rich people are bad people. Or you may actually have the mindset that anybody that is 18 years old and has money is a Yahoo boy. The mindsets are real, yeah. You get number. There are lots of mindsets that are out there. Lots and lots of mindsets that are out there. Lots of them, basically. Right? Basically, from when we grow up, right, different things shape our mindset, right? And the thing there is that just like how different things actually give us passions. I'm going to give you a funny story here. Just like how different things give us passion, right? That's the same way different things actually shape our belief systems. And we take up things that make no sense and we hold on to them. All right. There's this particular, if I can recall, I hope I'm accurate with the story, but this is how the story was. There's this thing that they call lasagna, right? So I've not eaten lasagna before, though. Yeah. But then I think they used to bake it, if I'm not mistaken. So I was reading a book and then there was an instance there. So the lady normally folds her lasagna when she's cooking it. Like when she's baking it, she normally folds it, she don't put it straight. And then she now asked her, why do you do so? She didn't know. She now asked her mom, why do you fold? Because she learned from her mom, obviously. Why do you fold your lasagna? Basically, her mom also learned it from her mom. Then they now ask the grandmom also, why do you fold your lasagna? The grandmom now says she folds her lasagna because her oven was small. So you see, the grandmother folds her lasagna because the oven was small. The daughter now saw her mom folding lasagna and decided to also fold her lasagna, even though she probably had a bigger oven. Now, the mom, this person's daughter now also learns that particular thing, that you fold lasagna. Why do you fold lasagna? I don't know, but I fold lasagna, basically. You understand? And then they end up carrying that mindset. Now, you see, the reason was because the pan was small, but that particular thing has been gradually forming a particular blueprint, which is wrong. Now, these are the little things that actually affect some of us. You come up and then you have these ideologies and then they dampen you. They make you not think far. It is very, very bad. Trust me, it's very, very bad. Now, that statement, personally, I debunk that statement that says, it is not really good for you to have wealth for you to have a wealth mindset at a young age. That's a very, very bad blueprint. Now, there are lots of blueprints like that. You can read Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. Trust me, you read that book, you will see to shaping your mind, because the number one thing for you to make money, first of all, you need to actually have a right mindset first. Read that part that to actually help. You understand? You need to actually have the right mindset first. And that particular statement, that is not the right mindset at all. You get? So, yes, it may actually be bad though, basically, but you see, there are different things that actually make our mind, right? Not just that particular statement only. You can still be 50 years old and then money will still be a bad thing for you. You get number, because people who are 50 that develop that they were poor and then they not develop a business mind or a money mind when they are now 40, and then the way they now said the route they had to go to get the money was not through stealing. Would you not call them good? No. You understand? So there are many principles that actually play a part in reforming this particular stuff. Yeah. So I do hope I answered your question properly, Salem. Is your question answered? Is Salem even online? Is your question answered, Salem? You can give a sign also so that I know. All right. So, can one person just tell me what he or she learned? Anybody? Maybe one or two. Should I say one or two? Yeah. If you want to just share what you learned, can you just maybe wave or mute your mic and share? All right. So, we're having Salem, right? And Taiwo too wants to share. All right. Is that all? All right, so let's say that's all. All right, so Salem, what did you learn? Okay. All right, Salem, you may type yours. I think probably your mic also is, faulty also. I don't know. So you can just type your answer. Taiwo, yeah, you can share what you learned, just briefly.
Okay, basically what I learned about self-development. Also, I learned about having a business sense and just learning about finances. So, like, you don't see businesses for some people. So I learned about that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing what you learned. Thank you very much. All right. I want to thank you all for coming for this meeting. Thank you all. I believe your time wasn't wasted. Yeah, I believe your time wasn't wasted. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for sharing. I do hope my prayer and my hope is that we will all have a great mindset that would help us greatly in our business and in things that we do. That's my prayer, and that's what I hope for. You get? So yeah, probably I do. You can follow me on my YouTube. I have a channel called Justice Gaga. You can follow me there. All right, Salem is sharing what she learned. He said, I learned that we should do what we love, what the world needs, and what gets money for us. Yeah, that's very, very important. Yeah. So thanks very much for sharing too. And that's in Salem said she learned is Salem, sorry, are you a he or a she? Just comment he, she, or you don't have they, them here. So just comment, are you a male or female? So I know what to address here. All right, somebody said mindset goes a long way as an upcoming entrepreneur. That's what I learned. Yeah, thank you very much. These are all in fact, if these are the things that people took from what all of you, three of you have shared now. Okay, Salem is a guy. Thanks very much. All right. If these are the things that you all have learned, right? Trust me, then I would say to a good extent, I'm happy that, yeah, I held this, because that's what I want to actually pass, for you to have the right mindset and for you to know for you to know the things that you actually combine. But then trust me, it doesn't stop there. You're a long way from there. You're a long way. Like, it's work, 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 work. But then it will be fun though when you're working and you're enjoying what you're working on. Trust me. So if you want to learn more, you can come to my DM. You can follow me on my YouTube. I have a YouTube page. I do podcast and all. So thank you all for your time. And yeah, we will be having more of this too.